Looks like everything's good. So let me just do the output projector, and there we go. Okay. If it loads, that would be great. Alright, there we go. So why don't you just invite me?
Sure.
That makes it way easier, because then you can
And you wanted to do Halo 2 this time?
Yep, on Heroic.
Okay.
Sure. Because Halo 2 is old enough to drink now. Which is, wow. That was not the Halo that really got me interested in Halo, but, oh, hey, rewards points. But, you know, it was a very revolutionary one. Okay, so, yep, there we go. Alright. Hello and welcome to SunnyRedemption Sailing, number 42. Normally, your bi-weekly voyage for BS3 gaming news, but then Valve had to go dropping a nuclear bomb of an announcement on a random Wednesday, and possibly during the week when Halo 2 was supposed to be, you know, basking in the limelight a little bit. But we'll talk about all that and more on this show. So if you like no BS gaming news, then please give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell, hype, comment, share, whatever you feel like, because doing this for free is not easy. Anyway, so I guess speaking of difficulty level, let's put it on Heroic, and then start. Let me just also make sure the volume is not blasting in my ears. Let's see. You know, what was interesting was that it just took forever freaking ever to install again. So I'm just gonna leave this installed. Even if, I don't care if it takes up all the space. I just like having access to the games. So, whenever you're ready.
Yep. All right. The only skill I turned on was Grunt Birthday Party because it just, you know, it's just one of those fun sounds.
I love that so much because that was one of the things that really got me into Halo once I started seeing videos of it around the Halo 3, Halo Reach days, which was when Halo was at its peak culturally, and so I definitely want to stream that at some point.
But you told me there wouldn't be any cameras, and you told me you were gonna.
I'm so glad we have the remastered cutscenes. Because holy shit, these graphics are so terrible on the original cutscene by comparison.
Yeah.
Who reanimated the cutscenes for Halo 2?
Blur, I believe.
Yes, that was what I was going to say, but thank you for confirming with me. Because they have just had an awesome track record as an animation studio. Let's see. Let's see. Well, works. I mean, they were huge on Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and all the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. And then they've helped with every Call of Duty since Modern Warfare remake in 2019, and all sorts of games from Spider-Man 2 in 2004 to
yeah, I was gonna say
The Force Unleashed
have been working. They've been working with Sonic and Sega specifically since like Sonic Unleashed, I believe. So they have a pretty long track record even just with that franchise.
Well, let me see.
Another whisper, sir, near
I believe, unless I'm thinking of a different studio, but they
Sonic
working.
I think you're thinking of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Thank you.
Shadow the
Were
Hedgehog.
they Shadow as well? Oh, okay.
Well, that's according to their Wikipedia article, anyway.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I just remember with Sonic Unleashed because they did like some special like tie-in shorts for it and stuff.
Yeah, and they were working on Dark Souls 2 at the same time that they were working on Halo 2 Anniversary back in 2014 for the MCC release. But man, this is such a great cutscene that really sets up the Arbiter's arc, only for it to never pay off after Halo 3. Like, come on.
Your father's actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service.
Oh yeah, right.
His bravery in the face of impossible
That
odds reflects great credit
that's also sad.
upon himself and the UNSC. The Navy has lost one of its best.
I mean, Halo is the original trilogy is really set up on a classic trilogy arc. Even though there were massive rewrites and crunch and development issues, like, they still managed to bring something together here. Up, and, yep. Okay.
Directly off our battle cluster.
The original purple Cortana.
Capital ships holding position
I'm looking at the original cutscene now.
This is Fleet Admiral Harper. We are engaging the enemy.
Negative, Admiral. Form a defensive perimeter around the cluster. Commander, get to your ship. Link up with the fleet.
Yes, sir.
You have the Mac gun, Cortana. As soon as they come in range, open up.
Gladly.
Something's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our Mac guns offline. Give their capital ships a straight
The
shot
twist
at
about why they send
Master
such a
Chief,
small navy is
defend
so
this
cool.
station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right.
I need a weapon! Oh, iconic line from an iconic actor. Not sure how I feel about re-recording their lines for the remakes, given the age now.
Yeah.
But we've once again asexually reproduced Master Chief and are gonna go and find some sort of weapon. Oh, I always forget that the stairs are there for some reason.
Yeah, I've played plenty of the Halo 2 campaign. I mean, I've done it on Legendary in the past, but I'm not quite as, like, I don't have it quite as memorized as Halo 1. Halo 1 I have pretty well memorized, pretty much front to back. This one, I like the campaign, but I play a lot more multiplayer because it's online, obviously.
Since, so I guess you were there at the beginning when Xbox was, or close to it.
Well, I mean, I played Halo 1 and 2 at friends' houses, but I didn't have the original Xbox. But when I did get this game in, like, 2008 or so, and, the online was still fairly popular, even though Halo 2 was out, I always preferred Halo 2's online, so when I wasn't playing with friends, I tended to go back to Halo 2 instead.
Right, Halo 1's multiplayer was very cool because you could have 16 people land up, but Halo 2 was the coming out party for Xbox Live, which changed gaming forever, and even internet forever, because until then, dial-up was the main form of going online, and had been tried by a couple of game consoles, from the GameCube to the PS2 to the Dreamcast before that, but it didn't really take off until this, when it was part of the reason that people started demanding broadband in their houses. That was a pretty big gamble to not include a dial-up port, which could have limited compatibility, but it was innovative. That was what Xbox used to be about, was innovation. And even on the hardware level now, despite my criticisms of them, they still are. Like how amazing Quick Resume is, because I have been... Let me just open this real quickly while you take care of the... What? Oh, uh-oh.
I didn't see the elite behind me.
I did not know that you were dying. Okay. Ah, way ready to respawn. Arg.
I thought it was safe, but then I
thought it was safe too, because you seem to be handling it, but then no.
Yeah, because I meleeed the grunts and I was like, oh, I'm fine.
Elites, they can get you.
I forgot there was a turret here. Okay, this turret's helpful.
But yeah, so I have been playing Viewfinder, SOPA, Tale of the Stolen Potato, Frostpunk 2, Mafia the Old Country, and voidtrain. I love that the Quick Resume even works with disc games, because the discs are just a key now after the installation happens, though a pretty substantial portion of the game was on disc for Mafia the Old Country. I think, like, this and then Metroid Prime 4 are going to be my actual last games with GameStop, because I can make way more money selling Metroid Prime 4 privately than I ever would at GameStop. How about GameStop shooting me? Anyway, okay. So, I'm gonna... Alright, Viewfinder is amazing. Is it worth $20? I guess that depends on your preference when it comes to puzzles, but, it was for me, and, I think it was also on sale, so that helped. But I've had my eye on it for a while, and, it really plays with photography in a very interesting way, because ever since I was a teenager in Rome, using up my dad's SD storage by taking way too many pictures on his camera, I've been fascinated with photography, so that's really cool, and the story's kind of intriguing too. I won't spoil anything about it. Oh, I'm dead.
Okay.
Time for my clone to save me. So SOPA, it's cute. It's a 2D platformer, it seems, after some initial QTEs that are also cool. But I'm a bit stuck right now, and we'll probably look up a walkthrough for some of the harder parts that inevitably come out later on. Hard, I'm not sure about actually being a thing with this game, though. It's just tricky for my autism.
That's where it came from. Yeah. Oh no, this is
okay. Well, I know the pistol was substantially nerfed, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah, pistol.
Hang out. I'm gonna hang
that thing out as soon as you can.
Yeah, I swapped it out for a battle rifle and have the high ground.
Good idea.
So I'm heading back and helping from a distance. I think that also helps with collecting my thoughts a little bit. Okay. Frostpunk 2, I'm tentatively going through. I'm not too sure about the control layout, or the amount of management that the game gives compared to Frostpunk 1, but I started it on the easiest difficulty. So hopefully I should be fine, because I am a veteran of Frostpunk 1. I just couldn't get into it for some reason on the Mac, even though it would be more intuitive in theory with the mouse and keyboard, because I just don't play these games with mouse and keyboard much anymore.
Yeah.
Then, okay. Mafia the Old Country is actually a very interesting example of the kind of style that really sells a game. Because if it didn't have the most jaw-dropping vistas of Italy in 1904 and like really cool details, the gameplay would honestly be kind of generic, because yeah, it's basically LA Noire in that vein, where the gameplay is generic on purpose to allow as many people to get into the story as possible. Like, the knife fighting is very simple, and that seems to take up a majority of the actual combat, though there is like a hint right now that there's going to be shooting later. It's probably going to be very loose LA Noire-ish and other type of Rockstar Mafia games, where that isn't the main focus. There's a lot of stealth, which makes sense, and some QTEs and dialogue options, so it's taking its time introducing me to the story, and immersing me in that setting is what brings that out, is what brings out the game's personality. So I'm actually fine with keeping the original graphics on the gameplay for now anyway, because for Halo 2, because there was a lot of style in those graphics, even if they kind of look ugly now.
Yeah, I've been playing on original. I like some aspects of the anniversary stuff, but some of them I feel just I don't like all the changes, so I kind of prefer the original.
There's been a lot of discussion about graphics for sure, and I didn't get too much into some of that with haloc, because I'm not that much of a nerd for the details when it comes to Halo compared to you. So like, but I watched a video from Late Night Gaming that showed like, hey, some of the things that anniversary models removed, like some of the stylizing for the Marines that I never would have noticed because I never played the original game. I'm dead, and apparently he spontaneously died too.
Well, I meleeed him right as he got you.
Okay, well, thank you for avenging me.
Fine.
I just need to find my battle rifle. If it's...
yeah, I'm also looking for one. Probably not going to find one unless...
I'm just going to dual wield... Oh, whoops, that's not it.
The Covenant must have brought something with them.
I'm going to dual wield submachine guns for right now, because I remember vaguely that this is a very corridor-heavy part. Coming up. Priority shift. And then lastly, we have to try this at some point when we're offline, potentially, because I don't know how much of a poll this will actually have audience-wise, is Void Trade. It's so cool. I mean, I already liked it when I got it for free on the Epic Games Store and played it on my Steam Deck. But the controller mapping for non-Steam OS games is kind of a pain in the ass on... Oh! I almost got exploded by that plastic grenade there. Good looking out. Taste! What? Somebody shot me from behind, it seems. Okay. Yeah. An area not safe.
Oh, it's that guy.
But yeah, voidtrain so far, it, like, really streamlines crafting in a very interesting way, and now that it's like a console port that has to have console optimizations, it's totally fine by me when it comes to controls and all that. Oh, so I guess the Invisible Elite got you. Yes, this is the dual wield of the century. Plasma rifle for medium and SMG for short. Oh no, random guy who just died. So yeah, quick resume. Basically, all this to say that quick resume is such an innovative feature, and honestly is being slept on by people because, like, we got about 30-something million sales for the Xbox Series X and S, and so large portions of the gaming public are just not gonna know the difference because PS5 just decided it was fine to suspend one game at a time still, and people were fine with that. Okay, he's dead. Oh wow, they just absolutely roast you there. And okay, well, there's my body that just tumbled down. So, definitely easier to coordinate attacks like this. I would not be able to do this solo legendary. I don't know how you did.
Yeah, this is probably the toughest legendary campaign in my opinion.
I thought that Halo 5 was impossible, so that's saying something.
No, especially with some of the glitches you can do in 5. Like, you can basically skip all the warden fights. So
what?
That makes it, like, so...
Still?
Yeah.
They haven't patched that after all these years?
Maybe they have, but I don't know. When I did Legendary, I was able to skip all the warden fights, so...
I just played it on... Yeah, I have no idea. I just played the game on normal from Redbox, back when they did that. After buying the MCC as one of my first games for my Xbox One, I was like, okay, nope, I'm broke. I'd like to rent Halo 5 for like $3 and beat it in a couple of days. So no, I did not decide to do that kind of level of difficulty, but okay. Man, dual wielding was kind of innovative, but also clunky with this game. So mostly it's just like comes down to remembering which weapons to switch. Oh god, I'm dead again. I keep...
I'll aim back a little.
Yeah, there we go. I probably need to get a battle rifle, because that is by far the best gun in the game. To the point where it still dominates in anniversary matches. And when I had actual good response from cloud gaming matches of Halo 2 Classic, it also dominated there as well. So that, it kind of just traded out one villain for another in terms of how that worked. I suppose a remake of this, which is inevitable at this point, would change that to some degree to make the weapon balancing more fair in the... Oh, well, I keep forgetting these remakes probably don't have the multiplayer.
I mean, so far, maybe they'd
again, I still think that Microsoft is holding something back for Xbox hardware or xCloud.
I could definitely see something. Well, oh, you mean in terms of like, I don't. If anything, I think it would be more of an enticement for them to make multiplayer, multi-platform if they do something multiplayer with Halo to coincide with Campaign Evolve.
Oh, did you explode?
I definitely don't. Yes. I definitely don't think there's going to be anything with Xbox.
Yay! Multiplayer modes, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
well,
if they have anything to show, because I know there was
Thanks, Chief.
something that was getting worked on, but I think who was it? One of the studios that they go to often for multiplayer stuff. Maybe certainaffinity, I forgot.
Probably, yeah, I think it was certainaffinity actually. They were planning a ODST battle royale mode,
Right,
which
and
would have been awesome, and then they canceled it.
And that got canceled, but there supposedly is something else in the works to some level of completion that, like, maybe they'll just launch alongside Campaign Evolved. I don't know. Could be like a free-to-play thing.
Maybe. Intriguing, but you know what's interesting is that their multiplayer efforts did not start with this because okay, let's see, just so I have it exactly right, because I had this in my head. But, okay, so after the Xbox release in 2004, Halo 2 was released as one of the first games for Windows Live on PC in 2007. But even that didn't have any kind of pull, because they tried to charge for online multiplayer on a platform that expected free online multiplayer. So, like, PC's just mass of consumers has always grinded against any kind of restrictions. Which is why it's interesting that Microsoft thought that they could chase being a PC with their Xbox, like basically cannibalize that to spread themselves everywhere. And now it seems like Valve is doing the opposite more effectively. Basically, if you remember the streaming wars, one of the earliest things that HBO said about Netflix was, we would like to become Netflix before they become HBO. I.e., but let's get everywhere the way they do before they have the content to draw people. And the thing is that both Netflix and Steam were just such huge first movers in both of their spaces that their competitive advantages are impossible to overcome. Epic Games knows, and they tried with timed exclusives, which upset a large number of people, despite the fact that some games would not have been funded without that. So PC is also very hostile to exclusives, or other such features that would normally make a console, you know, worth buying, but the Steam machine is not going to do any of that. They're basically going to be the Android of consoles. Very open, very demure, very flexible with what you want to play. And that's kind of where hardware is just trending at the moment, like a rubber room safe place where you can just play games, a console for lack of a better term, and then a Wild West mode where it's like, go nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize this was moving already. Oh, good thing I got on there.
You're on it? Because I just started moving.
Yeah. I saw that it was moving and I was like, I gotta hurry up then.
All hands, report to evacuation station.
Oh man, that was a late plasma. But anyway. So, what were your thoughts on the Steam machine initially?
I mean, it looks interesting, and if I had more, like, games in the Steam ecosystem and a desire to, like, play, if there was enough stuff that I wanted to play on Steam that I, you know, like, wanted to, I think my thought lead until the price is announced, but right now I'm leaning towards not getting it at the moment. I'm leaning towards at least waiting to see what Xbox does themselves, because that's where my ecosystem is currently. So, like, Valve still has an uphill battle to get me to, like, move to that, but hey, Xbox doesn't have anything compelling, and Valve does. That's either cheaper or I don't think it's going to be more powerful
No, the
what they've announced seems like not a super high-end thing. So
no, it seems like right now it's basically a mid-range PC. They have done hardware surveys for a decade. They know what people play on. A lot of PC gaming is just League of Legends, which could probably run on a literal fucking potato.
Yeah, I ran League on my like.
Yeah, that's exactly why I mentioned that.
That I exclusively use for word processing.
Oh no!
In college.
So yeah, a lot of people are on the low end, and so 8 gigabytes of RAM should be enough for most games. At the highest resolutions, no, but they're really counting on AMD FSR, and are in discussions about FSR 4 support. In my experience, FSR has mixed results on PC-like environments, especially the Steam Deck, but this is supposed to be 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, and that's all that really matters. It's an interesting choice that they have to go with 16 gigabytes of SODIMM laptop memory for the system memory, and instead of what I would have expected, which is where the system memory would have been less than the VRAM. But apparently that works out well enough, and we'll see how much 24 gigabytes of RAM costs. But they've done a very decent job with the CPU, which means that in theory people should be able to do something similar to what the Series X and S's differences were supposed to be, if developers had understood the Series S, which was a fucking frustrating box to work with for a lot of people. That it was supposed to be the same game, same frame rates, lower resolution. And people who are buying, especially the $400 version, because I imagine that they're going to cut to the bone with the lower storage for 256 gigabyte version in order to get that cost down, because they know that people are gonna just buy a lot of people are gonna buy microsd cards anyway for like $40 to expand their storage. So it's not that big of a deal for people who are that cost conscious. I could see the because of the cost of materials, the higher end version storage wise, that it says 2 terabytes on board, probably being $800. But again, that's kind of overkill for most people, and most PC gamers would probably have a random SSD lying around somewhere to screw in, because, well, in the expandable storage wars, Microsoft has lost, definitively. I like Microsoft's expansion cards for how convenient it is to just pull it out from the back of my Xbox Series X and then do this, and then plug it into the back of my Series S, though finding the port on the Series X when it stood up vertically is kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, like, did you hear? They allow you to install micro SD games and just plug them in and play them immediately on the Steam Deck, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame?
Mm-hmm.
That is just so wild, and in the best way possible, because it used to be that I would be very annoyed having to move that around for anything, but and what's the interesting thing is that I thought that they would wait a few more years to announce anything, because I thought that they were just expanding things slowly to partners, which, would have made perfect sense, as the development work would have been offloaded onto those partners. But for those who don't know, Valve has been plotting this for the past 13 years or so.
They've certainly been trying, but they had one big false start, and then they kind of have been at the drawing board since then.
So again, for those who don't know, the false start started in 2012 after the release of Windows 8, which Gabe Newell called basically the end of open PC gaming as we know it, and so he decided to try and shift Valve over to Linux before Windows could close the gate of the walled garden behind them and trap them there with most of their users. It's still the case that the majority of users are on Windows, just because Windows is the most popular operating system for computers in the world due to network effect. But what happened with their first effort from 2015 to 2018 on Steam machines was actually fairly solid. They had a lot of the same ideas as they do now, just very early. Like I think in the original plan for the controller, Gabe wanted eye tracking somehow with the console. And now they have capacitive touch for the back paddles on the new controller with the huge chin trackpads, because you know, they have the technology now. They were just a little bit early. But yeah, from time to give the Covenant back their bomb. From 2015 to 2018, Steam machines were being produced, but it was just very hard to port over Windows games to Linux. So what Valve did was, after that hardware effort failed, they started working on the Steam Deck in-house to make sure that it was to specifications, and they invested heavily into Proton compatibility layer, which was very supported by the Linux community, because Linux gamers wanted games on their platform too, and were tired of being left behind. So that investment paid off, because once the Steam Deck launched, there were thousands of games that worked without much effort. Now, there were plenty of games that, you know, you had to fiddle with, but that was just the nature of PC games made before console controllers were ever considered for their development. And then now there's thousands more games for the Steam machine and a popular handheld to anchor the ecosystem, and quite possibly the best implementation of standalone VR that could ever happen.
Yeah, that I'm pretty interested in, because I've been like toying with the idea of getting some sort of VR and just haven't pulled the trigger, so we'll see how that turns out.
I don't have enough games on the VR side of Steam, because I had no hope of having a PC that could run it, to get one. But the thing is, it is nice that it's standalone, even though the battery could run out as little as an hour if you're running a high-intensity game. Like, I imagine that Half-Life: is going to be the bundle game, because people on PSVR 2 were begging for a VR port of Half-Life: and it would have made Valve so much money, but they stuck to their guns because they know how to design for their hardware. This is why you have exclusives. And with that, they were able to perfect some really interesting ideas around VR interaction and physics that ties back to the personality of Valve as hoorah! Basically, like, they really solved a lot of problems because they built the hardware, they built the software, and they wanted to show it off. But now you don't have to get a Vive for $1,000. If it's any lower than that, then I'm sure that the PC VR enthusiasts who are gonna get this are gonna love it. For people who are seriously price conscious, the Quest 3 is there, but it has a very limited game library, and Steam VR just has way more. Like, I imagine if I got this, then I would play a lot in VR chat, which ended up being most of the time spent in my Quest 2 anyway, because the games were so basic.
CPR? What's going on?
Shake it off, Marines.
Should I start CPR?
Go, go, go.
Well, this might be one of the best designed levels in first-person shooter history that is now lagging for some reason. Internet!
Well, on Heroic, maybe, not on Legendary. Legendary, this level, I remember being awful.
Oh, man. Well, I'm so glad we're not doing that.
one-shot jackal snipers and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I remember that! Oh, shit.
So
I think we tried to tackle on Legendary
together.
together.
It's more of a two-shot affair on Heroic, so you at least have some recovery time.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the elites have been so laser spammy.
Yeah, and overall, like, this game's definitely harder primarily because of the health system. You don't have the, you don't have the
Health kits,
health
yeah.
kits as backup.
Right.
It's all just your shields.
That was quite the innovation, as I mentioned last time. And along with Call of Duty, paved the way for regenerating health, which, as I mentioned last time also, has had mixed results for first-person shooters, because the idea is if the player can just hide behind a cover to recover health, then we should just make it a shooting gallery with enemies fighting you all at once, which, you know, you have to balance that a little bit with things like these little high ground thingies to rain chaos down into the streets below, and to have some variety in cover instead of, you know, broken down Middle Eastern city that's very linear with clown car enemies, or I mean, as much as I love Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, it is very clown car with how its enemies spawn practically out of nowhere sometimes, and literally do that only go away after you clear an invisible fucking line. Like, just even walking past it is enough for some reason. And so, that's what happens. Okay, Grant, you're running. There we go. You're toast. You can kind of see as well how the grunts went from very purplish to, or started to slowly transform into that. Alright. Oh no, not in the courtyard, please. Oh god. Nightmares of this section. Wait, where is it exactly? Oh!
Back
on
here.
that roof.
I'm just trying to stay out of their way.
I'm gonna grenade spam. I hopes that's enough. Oh crap.
The best thing to do is kind of get behind them here. I'm doing a poor job of actually shooting them though. There we go.
I apparently did not know that the that gearbox had broken the way these shield guys work, so that you ended up they ended up not exploding in reaction to plasma weapons or something like that. That haloce's port was a very botched job for a studio that was known for ports at the time.
And that was kind of
Half-Life Opposing Force and Blue Shift.
Yeah, and that was part of why when Master Chief Collection initially came out, it was, you know, because they took the PC port and didn't really fix a lot of the stuff that was busted in it at first, so it took them years to actually clean that up in the Master Chief Collection version to get it closer to what the Xbox version was, which eventually it got most of the way there. Not everything, but a lot of the stuff ended up getting fixed.
There's those
that
original
PC port's
graphics.
a mess.
Oh wait, no, this is the end. Yeah, the original graphics look really good for this level. Because you can tell they put a lot of effort into the art design here to compensate for any graphical weaknesses at the time.
Here's where the snipers come out.
Oh god. Not looking forward. Well, okay, so yeah, it's gonna be a tricky combination of price and launch date and possibly exclusive games, because, like, I cannot imagine that Valve is just gonna port their games to consoles anymore. They did that for a while with the Xbox 360 and PS3, and I'm glad they did, because those are some of my favorite versions of those games for convenience. But, the PC version of Left 4 Dead 2 is definitely more complete with, you know, mods and stuff. And now every game wants to have mods everywhere, like, Fallout or Skyrim or Starfield, etc. Well, maybe not every game, but quite a few more games are fine with mod browsers inside of their games on consoles. It's just still not nearly as much as PC, which is where the Android-ness of the Steam machine comes in. You know, people, even though they're hoping that people will rely on community controller configurations less, that it's still helpful that the community is contributing to that. And then, yeah, the Steam Workshop is right there. They know how to deliver that on a console-like environment with the Steam Deck, because I was skeptical, but they really did very well with that. And you know, the Steam Machine, why do I keep thinking Steambox? I think that was the original name for Steam Machines in general, but the Steam Machine 2026 version, you know, there are games on there that I would have to rebuy in order to play them. It does make some sense to me to wait for the Xbox with the PC mode, but I kind of feel like I would love a version that wasn't that, because knowing Microsoft's track records on UI and like maintaining their services lately, I'm not confident in how they're going to design the desktop mode experience. Whereas like the Linux desktop environment on Steam Deck is a lot more lightweight. I mean, even just downloading a photo to use for the thumbnail of this fucking stream was so annoying because of random PC crap that is like from 20 years ago or whatever, because Microsoft just got too big to fail in the operating system environment and didn't bother fixing a lot of these things. Whereas again, Valve has experience in consoleizing PC experiences more than stretching the thin fabric of console audience over to PC. I wonder if realizing that they're accidentally giving games to their competitor will make Microsoft and Sony more hesitant. Probably not Microsoft, because they've backed themselves into a publicity corner.
Microsoft, I think at this point, it's where, like, they're not going to back off of any, like, PC stuff. Like, that's just where they are now.
Well, like, Sony probably would get cheesed about Spider-Man games.
Sony I really wonder about, especially when the next Xbox comes out. If you can just play all those Sony games on there in the PC mode, like, I wonder, like, will it be enough for them to care? And maybe reconsider their PC strategy.
They did block Horizon Zero Dawn for a while there. I think it was, but I'm looking it up to be sure. So the title was unsupported. So I imagine that Sony was dragging their feet on actually getting it Steam Deck compatible until the demand just was too great. And I imagine that they're gonna have longer exclusivity windows for PS5 because they aren't stupid like Microsoft. I'm sorry. As I mentioned, there are drawbacks to stretching your focus too much when it comes to this, and not focusing on specific hardware that delivers specific experiences. And Valve is also not going to be dumb, like I mentioned, and port their games to competing consoles because they want to get into the console market now. So,
barely. Our pilots didn't make it.
Hypothetically, if the Steam Machine came out in 2026 for $400, bundled with Half-Life 3, would you get it?
Oh yes, Half-Life 3 would be the reason for me to get a potential, like, that would be definitely the system seller for me.
That would be the system seller for a lot of people.
Only coming to PC and this, then yes.
Right, because PC gaming overall still has a very high barrier of entry. It's nice that these consoles, these consoleized PCs, are working to lower barriers to entry in a similar way that the microconsoles of the mid-2010s were trying to do with smartphone games on the TV and failed miserably. But like, they actually have a long knowledge and study of people who, again through the hardware survey, self-report that they connect up small home theater PCs to their TV. It's something people want, that big TV gaming experience still. It's not that they don't want to game everywhere else, and I do think that, you know, Xbox's accessibility and multi-plat push overall, again, can be beneficial, but now Valve is gonna eat their lunch. Because, again, they were so reliant on these no-effort sales on Steam, and have backed themselves into such a corner that changing it now would be suicide. Especially for, like, the huge PC Game Pass audience, which, you know, that's probably why Phil Spencer welcomed it, because any kind of new PC hardware means more surface area for them to get Game Pass subscribers on if people decide to venture to the desktop mode, which, you know what, I probably would, because there are several games that are on PC Game Pass that I'm like, grr, why hasn't this gotten a console port, but it also would run terribly on my laptop, and also doesn't run on Parallels with ARM. Like, I'm super looking forward to potentially being able to play Sea of Thieves without paying for online multiplayer earlier this way, instead of waiting for 2027 or 8 for the more expensive machine with no exclusives. And what kind of features, we don't know, but it's probably going to be a lot of AI slump. Like, even just before getting into the party chat with you that failed once, before we started streaming, it's tried to shove the Xbox co-pilot in my face. Like, no! Nobody cares! They don't want a robot telling them, you know, how to walk through a game. They want to see people play games still, and give advice that way. Like, hopefully this stream is a helpful walkthrough of this level on Heroic for someone. Oh gosh, that was hit. Oh no, a sniper got you. Oh, we might be stuck on this part for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned.
More safe if I realized you were dead. I thought you were
Oh, okay. Well, I just thought you had it under control, but hang on while I collect. Oh, speaking of gaming news, did you see the Fallout 2 Season 2 trailer?
No, I didn't. I've never actually gotten around to watching Season 1 either. Oh, there's invisible entry sort of.
I liked it. Upon further introspection after the hype, it definitely has its writing flaws, but the fact that they nailed the setting and tone of Fallout so well is what makes it work. And does give me some confidence about the Mass Effect TV show, which they have confirmed is its own standalone story set after the games, because it's important for people to feel like their player stories are respected, even in adapted media. Like how, like, they don't have this problem with BioShock because it's linear, but like, what was it? Oh yeah, so Fallout New Vegas, you know, happens, and New Vegas is the confirmed setting for Season 2. Sorry if slight spoilers, but you've had a year to watch this show. And they confirmed alongside the trailer, for the people who are nerdy enough like me to care, that this takes place 15 years after the events of the games. I'm on pins and needles wondering how they're going to handle the choice at the end of that game, because it's pretty irrevocable, and you know, like I feel like they should try to respect all endings, or by being vague about it. Well, I've advanced up to here and am crouching down, so we should be okay.
Just lay low. I haven't picked off the connection yet. Okay.
Okay. Spawn from the sky. Anyway. Purple ammo! But like, Halo 2 was a key ingredient in making a personality for Xbox, the original Xbox, the same way that Gears did for the 360. Because it was a really innovative, fast-paced shooter with a lot of great mechanics. I mean, some of that innovation, you know, factor is going to be dulled over time because of, you know, Moore's Law and how video game control surfaces have simplified and been multi-platformed and that kind of thing, which, again, makes cool sense, but it's also nice to sometimes go back to retro games and see what they were trying to do. Like, I just downloaded a bunch of original Xbox games after encountering the OG Xbox Live community on Discord, because I think I'm gonna actually try for some of the multiplayer experiences to, like, X-Link Kai or Insignia or something like that, via this community. Like, I just installed, let's see, now that I'm dead I can look up the photos a little bit more. Like, I just reinstalled Aliens vs. Predator. That should be a fun multiplayer mode once I, you know, get used to the game again.
Was that, I'm trying to think who was that, was that not Raven, who developed that. I remember
Let
back
me look
in
it
the
up.
day.
Okay. Because I used to know too, but a lot has happened. Anyway. Aliens versus Predator. Oh. Aliens versus Predator game. Yeah. Especially now with Predator Badlands getting really good reviews. It's neat time to go back to that game. And so let's see. Aliens. Oh, what? Who was shooting me? Oh crap!
R, right? It's not Raven. It's someone else that starts.
I'm still
with
looking
R.
it up because there have actually been a lot more video games than this, and Aliens vs. Predator is a very generic title. Like there was the one for the Jaguar, and one for the Super Nintendo system. So it's like, okay, Xbox 360. There we go. I should have just Googled that from the top, but I'm kind of tired. Anyway, so Aliens vs. Predator, released 2010 and developed by Rebellion and published by Sega.
Rebellion. Okay, that's the one.
Back when Sega
I know it starts
had the
with an
license.
R. Yeah.
And just before the disastrous Aliens Colonial Marines.
Oh. Yeah.
Another fucked Gearbox port. Like, they may have just gotten lucky with Borderlands and just keep fucking up everything else. And then getting acquired and then spun off, and it's like, oh my god. Please just, you know, Randy Pitchford, just step aside and leave Gearbox the fuck alone so they can actually develop good games in the future without your muddled and often condescending creative vision behind them. They literally fucking spawn jackals in the side alleyway, like 10 feet in front of you.
You gotta be real.
Fortunately, the battle rifle is just such a fucking beast. Blah! Never mind. Okay, let me see. Sailing number 42. Wow. Okay. I can also see both Microsoft and Sony slashing prices, actually, now that they have a competitor, because apparently the price hike is not working for PlayStation, as they're basically bumping everything back down to the original price for Black Friday in Europe. They haven't announced anything for the States yet, but there's been leaks that say
they're
basically
also
back to the
following
original price.
Nintendo's lead with that Japan only region lock system.
Right, yes! Yes,
like,
that's
basically
so
the equivalent of
interesting.
like $350.
They did that because the yen is just at an unprecedented rate of weakening.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, do not import this to the US.
Not unless you're willing to do a lot of fiddling around. Because I'm sure that somebody will. People have imported consoles even when they've been 3 times as expensive before. People want to experience things first. That's just our primitive ape brain.
Well, in this case, there's really no advantage to the system if you live outside of Japan. It's not like the old days where games themselves were region locked and stuff. Like, that's not quite as much of a thing these days, thankfully.
Yeah, this is their first region locked system since, what was it, it had to have been the PS3, because the PS4 was completely
PS3 is region locked, yeah. Yeah.
Oops,
Actually,
I accidentally shot up a region.
PS3 might not have been. I forget. Xbox 360 was not region locked, except some games. I think games specifically could be.
And Xbox One carries that over for games that are, like, some people have been able to just play the Japanese version of Gears of War. That was my vague recollection from a Reddit post years ago. So let's see. PS3 region locked. This is quite the adventure.
I want to say it wasn't.
It's mostly region 3, other than games like Persona 4 Ultimax.
Yes,
this was a design choice
some
made
games
to
region locked, and some, like, very few were.
Yeah, I don't know why Persona 4 was. If you have any more knowledge on that or can find out,
I have no idea.
Yeah, why was
The only reason I could think is maybe if they only included one language track in each, like, you know, they only did
to simplify the
Japanese
installation
language in Japan because it wasn't ready. I don't know. Maybe. That would be my guess. The only real reason to do that.
So, it was really... So, I'm finding this Reddit post from 3 years ago about Persona. Basically, they just wanted to do it for the good old reason that every publisher wants region locking to avoid people importing cheaper versions of the game.
Okay. Yeah.
But apparently that wasn't an impediment for most publishers, because it took a lot of time for them to get games to the PS3 anyway, a lot of the time. And the high price was what deterred. So Valve better get the price right the first time, or they're in big doo-doo. I mean, they're probably going to be fine overall as a company, even if the Steam machine flops. Which, like, what does that mean? If you sell it to a few million
I don't
PC
know
enthusiasts, that's probably fine.
Yeah, I don't know what they're expecting, because, again, I think the Steam Deck's at, like, 8 million sales, which is, like, good for a new type of, you know, thing for Valve to be making, but it's not, like, super mass market. Like, it's still, you know, sub Wii U numbers. So it's like, what are they expecting? They probably aren't expecting anything like 100 million or whatever.
Not unless they have a killer game lineup, which is okay. So
even so, I don't know about that, because, like, if the Steam Deck is already a niche product but does offer a pretty, you know, pretty compelling.
Oh yeah, that'll be a great way to experience that game.
I see the market for this being, like, decent, but not like, oh my god, I need this now, like, because I'm definitely, like, the person that they're looking to attract with this, as someone who's, like, you know, I have some games on Steam, but I have not barely touched anything on Steam in the past decade, because I do have a laptop that can run some stuff, but I don't really care to. So I'm definitely, like, the lapsed sort of person they'd be looking to catch with this, and I'm just not quite convinced yet. I'll have to see things like the price and, you know, actual real, like,
how did you get up there?
Ground. I was just jumping around. I don't know if there's anything worthwhile, maybe hidden collectible. Like, I'm definitely not going to be like a day one pre-order type of person for this, but I would definitely be keeping an eye on it. Like,
I'll keep an eye out for sales.
If the price is right and it makes enough sense for me, but, like, my problem with, like, I just don't really. I know this is a problem for a lot of people in the wider gaming community. I don't have a problem with needing more games to play. Like, I have enough games just even on Xbox, and then I also have a Switch 2 and a PS5, so it's like, I'm good. Like, I've never felt, outside of the occasional thing that blows up and becomes like a viral hit on PC that doesn't make it to consoles for a long time, I'm not feeling like I'm missing out
games
on
like, games like that, Friendslop games like Peak and such, will eventually get ported to consoles. I tried Pigeon Simulator. That was terrible, but it's very much a friendless-slop game that is hilarious with friends, I'm sure. It's just, solo is a completely disastrous experience from a controller perspective. This is also not the kind of game I was expecting from Pigeons. Of, like, them being secret agents and dragging heavy objects to objectives. It's like, there's no weight to any of it. That's kind of sucks, but... like, things like, an actually good running version of Ravenous Devils, because I tried it on the Nintendo Switch 2, and, they still haven't fixed the invisible customer glitch. Well, actually, the customer gets sent down a floor and stands on top of the, dining room, so that you can't have Percival actually, like, do anything, and you just have to skip out on that murder for the day. And if you do manage to get a person, then the game zooms in unacceptably hard, and you can't switch floors, so or interact with anything. So basically, the game is unplayable unless you decide to use rats forever. which is kind of boring because then you never lose. So the game is unplayable still on Nintendo Switch, and I love Bad Vice's games, but they need to fix that. And the PC is definitely the best version, followed by the Xbox Series X that I've tried. I've bought multiple versions of this game because it's just so dirt cheap.
Yeah. Well,
do I just not have any ability to be on the Warthog? Unless
I'm probably
I'm gonna kick it.
You can definitely
gonna kick out the Warthog turret operator because I.
Oh man!
And then we ran him over. Condolences to your family, but we really needed the truck, and so he was expendable. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. I can't wait for the part where you get into a scorpion tank for the first time. That's also one of the coolest levels in video games.
It's not the way to go, probably not.
Well, the wall certainly isn't. But yeah, like, I also loved playing Gettowork because it actually basically all but required a controller. So I know I would lose a lot of hours of frustration to that game. And then, of course, crabchampions. I put, let's see.
That bridge is the most
direct
route to the city center.
Game info, my game content, my achievements. I got 65 out of 106 achievements for that game. So while I can't check the exact playtime yet, it was definitely a lot. But that's another game that you're probably fine just waiting for a console port, because that's how most games are. That makes sense. But it would but I think a lot of the reason why people may choose this over a Steam Deck, or in addition to a Steam Deck, is because some games just play better with a small controller.
The Warthog.
And yeah, before it explodes.
Because they're not invincible in this game.
Oh god, yeah. Forgot about that. I don't know how to feel about the change then. It makes sense to a degree, but then, especially combined with things like the removal of the rock in haloce, it might make the game a little too easy at points. I mean, we'll see. Wow, that guy is terrible at driving, so I'm gonna take his ghost. And then run over his friends. Aren't you glad you had that idiot on your squad? Okay, well. Pew 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 pew! Like that controller, man. That looks so awesome.
Yeah, I'm not quite sold on it, because I tend not to, I tried the original Steam controller they put out forever ago.
Oh yeah,
Didn't
no,
really care for that, and I don't know, I'm really not sold on the, touchpad stuff.
So, it depends on the game implementation for sure, because sometimes they use the left D-pad, the left trackpad as an additional way to select inventory, especially on keyboard and mouse games. But, and then the right trackpad is usually mouse controls, which is definitely necessary. But trust me, No, yeah, you go. Yeah, that's the big thing.
I don't have, the strongest preference in the world for this, but, I definitely would prefer, asymmetrical.
Yeah, me too.
That was one of the weird things where I'm I don't know. Do they have research showing a lot of people preferring this? Because I feel like back in the day, that was definitely the thing that people playing PlayStation stuff were most oh, why can't they just change that one thing about the controller? And I definitely fall in that camp, but I wonder if the sentiment has changed over the years, because that was an overwhelming sentiment a long time ago.
Well, okay, so symmetrical controllers are definitely easier production-wise. That's probably one of the reasons. Second of all, they're more popular in general because of the popularity of DualShock 4.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean, is that definitely was not the case 10 or 15 years ago, so I wonder if that's just a thing, maybe a lot of younger people are more into that, but I am certainly not.
I mean, I find the asymmetrical for Xbox definitely way more comfortable, and so That could be a problem, but again, the right trackpad is there
years, so.
for that, if you want to rebind it. I wish that they had swappable sticks and other components, but that would probably be a premium controller. So, like, what's happening with the Elite controller, where you can swap out these things. The other thing is that I think Sony had a lot of the right idea with symmetrical controllers, because a lot of people did prefer that. However, they did not understand the weight and ergonomics issue the way that Xbox did. And so, playing games on PS3 is a goddamn nightmare for my fingers, because eventually it gets to be a little cramped after a while, with curling in on that tiny, controller. They improved it a lot for the DualShock 4, but a lot of the reason why I ended up getting rid of my PS4 was because of that. And then I thought that symmetrical sticks would be a problem on the Stadia controller, but no. Actually, it has very similar weight to the Xbox, and a lot of comfort. So, I was able to play... I mean, I didn't play hundreds of hours in Stadia, because I picked up a Stadia Premier Edition when the service was basically about to die, and until then, just kind of faffed around with mobile and PC versions on the cloud, including the awful iOS web app that they were forced to use, just to see what it was like with the few free games. And then, like, Lost Words Beyond the Page was a timed exclusive, and also Tomb Raider Definitive Edition was a good test bed game for me in terms of responsiveness. I'm excited to play multiplayer of that via the classic community, but anyway. So, a lot of this is just, like, figuring out the ergonomics, and again, a lot of the reason why people would probably prefer this controller over the Steam Deck, in summary, is that it's smaller, and so the symmetrical sticks are up top are probably going to be a lot less of a problem than they would be on the Steam Deck, especially with that thing's gigantic weight. The controller obviously doesn't need a screen, so it can be a lot lighter, while still including a lot of the button innovations that Valve brought to the table, including those nice trackpads. Apparently the bumpers are a little gummy instead of clicky, but that's something that can be fixed later. It really does come down to the exclusives. What games are on this machine that aren't anywhere else? Otherwise, I probably will just get it eventually to replace my my Mac Mini and my Surface Laptop 4, because I have to use a PC, as we've learned the hard way, in order for party chat to work well at all. While streaming this especially. Oh no, God!
I see you found out.
I definitely fucked around first, and then found out. Oh, God. Well, is he dead? No.
Working on it.
I accidentally shot you, by the way. Oops. Is it? Okay, come on. You gotta destroy this ship.
There's a blue elite down there, too.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out on the back steps, then.
I got the blue elite.
Nice.
By the way, I'm probably gonna have to call it a night around 11. I know we went a little long last time playing Halo.
That went by so fast. Holy shit.
I know. Yeah, but I have to be up at like 6:30. So.
Oh man, I'm gonna get up at 6:30 too, because I'm going to start work early in order to get out early without by flexing my schedule without taking leave, because I have very little of that, and probably will have 4 days by the time January comes around. I might go and use that for a trip to see Bobo a little early. We shall see about that. We're still figuring out like what works for her schedule when it comes to school, and you know, probably this is also a trip without Little Van, because it's a lot more logistically difficult to get a kid to another country. Maybe when he's older in a few years, but I definitely need time alone with my fiance. And then maybe a family trip at some point, probably to Greece in 2028, when Istanbul. Like, we're gonna get my mom to Santorini finally, because, she missed a flight back in the 80s and has never been able to get there ever since. Like, she was going with college friends and missed it, so that's why she's so anxious about getting to the airport early. But, nice. Just saw that, and anything else I can steal here?
I think we're going to like
This tunnel links up to the bridge.
Oh wait, we can't.
Oh, yeah.
get
Full of rats,
okay.
if you know what I mean. But it beats swimming.
Oh, I got run over by a ghost.
Well, I got my own ghost.
Oh man, this is gonna be tough
There's a
without
warthog down there. We could always grab that.
Oh yeah.
Let me destroy this enemy ghost. We can grab the warthog. I got it back here.
Or just get him, or just bait him until I can. Okay. Stop! Just let us steal the car, AI. Okay, back on the turret for me. Sorry, you're fodder. You don't get the turret. Like, a bunch of mobile games were just announced, including Red Dead Redemption. And here's the crazy part.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's a free upgrade from the Xbox 360 version.
Yeah.
This is from Rockstar. The king of charging for upgrades. Maybe this is a bit of an attempt to secure some goodwill after some union busting allegations this week.
I know, but it does help.
I'm also interested to see how the iOS version will be, because I'll be able to get that for free with Netflix. But yeah, like, it's a bit of a shame that the saves don't carry over from Xbox 360 to Xbox One and up, but the save system is definitely a lot different between the 360 and Xbox One.
I didn't really expect that. Very few games actually.
Nor am I upset.
Were able, yeah.
I got. Oh no! You almost ran me over there. But yeah, that.
Right, I'm just gonna go ahead of it, and we'll probably work.
Oh god.
I'm trying to take.
I exited. Oh god.
These. You what?
I had exited. I thought that you needed to get out because the thing was about to explode.
Oh no. Well, yeah. I'm just trying to get to the next checkpoint. And it should spawn you in.
Okay, yeah, I just did.
This part is tough to do on foot. I'm just trying to get through it with the warthog.
Also announced were a Horizon MMO. By who now?
NCSoft.
NCSoft, probably. You're probably right. Yes, a Guild Wars studio, NCSoft from GameSpot. And so, oh no, where do I go? Help!
Okay, it spawned us both.
I hate trudging through this tunnel on foot.
Alright, this part might suck now. I think there might be. I mean, there'll be vehicles to hijack up here. It's just, you know, you need to be able to hijack them.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll be fine. Anyway, so it's for some reason going to PC and phone only, not PS5 or PS4. I mean, that's the platforms they're comfortable with, I suppose.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
it's just
like,
odd.
There's supposedly another Horizon multiplayer game in development from Guerrilla, so I guess maybe they're trying to just...
They're trying not to step on each other's toes.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
I guess they'll have that for mostly the mobile market and also PC, just because it's probably not that.
And the Ratchet and Clank Arena shooter is also coming to mobile.
That too.
Gosh, I mean, these kinds of mobile spin-off games are fairly inoffensive, honestly, because mobile gameplay, you can only do so much with it because of the touch surfaces. Even you can have a million controller accessories for phones. They are going to design these games for touchscreens, which inherently has limitations. And haptic feedback on phones is not strong enough to be able to replace that feeling of hitting a button. You know, like with virtual controls on games back in the day, I had no choice. And probably a lot of the reason why I absolutely dominated in the leaderboards of Nova 2, which was the Halo at home for the for iPhone and Android. was on my iPad was because of the incredibly strong lock-on. So, yeah, it was aim assisty all over the place in order to have any kind of responsiveness at all, but I didn't care. That I was playing a game like Halo enough, you know, where I didn't have to get an Xbox 360. So, you know, that's why people like these sorts of knockoff games. Though speaking of the Gearbox family, did you also hear about Ubisoft's crazy move? They have suspended trading on the French stock market for the time being, and nobody knows why.
No, I didn't hear about that. Huh.
A lot of people are speculating that this is related to a potential acquisition. I could see Tencent upping its stake. They seem to be the biggest investor in Ubisoft right now, and what's the game studio that they made? Ubisoft new studio. New subsidiary. Vantage Studios. That packages together the development talent and IPs for their top 3 games, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Rainbow Six. So in theory, a new owner could just sell off a lot of the company and a lot of the IPs that have been stagnating, like how Grow Home and other similar games got sold off to, what was it again?
Oh, I forget who they sold that to, yeah.
From Ubisoft. There was a bunch of games that got sold off to the same developer. Atari, right.
Yeah.
If you had told me that was going to be a thing even like a couple of years ago, I would have laughed in your face because Atari? That Atari? But as we've been mentioning, they have been making a lot of the right moves. And, you know, these kinds of classic games are having a lot more appeal these days. Like, I downloaded the Xbox Retro Classics, and I favorited a few games that I might want to try, like MechWarrior games for the PSX, and other games for the SNES, and even some games for the PC that were ported over, like the entire Caesar series. Sure, I have those for free, or a very reduced, along with the Cleopatra games on GOG, but as we've established, I'm kind of lazy and like when I want a game, and really like that convenience of controller mapping. We'll see how that goes, I guess, but I've always been interested in the Caesar series, and it's nice to have that packaged up nicely. I'm dead again.
Okay. Yeah, the thing about this part is, without a vehicle, you kind of just try to get past all the enemies.
God, just as we were trying to get to bed a little earlier.
Yeah, that's alright.
Halo be Haloing.
Definitely meant for vehicles, but you can do it without one.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely very, very long. So...
You meant to just kind of storm through it with the Warhog or the Ghost.
Well, I'm about to... I'm dead again.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I actually got a Ghost. I'm just kind of gonna try to zoom through this as much as I can.
True.
Oh, that didn't work.
Well, I mean, it's those memories of that people have of
pointed me with the Warhog.
Goofy moments with of goofy moments in Halo with friends or family members, like I showed you screenshots of. I mean, it's mostly on fire, but it's better than nothing.
It's got like one stage of fire left before it's dead, I think.
And then you just bonked into a shipping container and tempted fate. Come on, dude.
Let's at least make some progress, and then we'll have to ditch this eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Is that a fucking wraith?
Must be trying to regroup. Don't let them.
Oh no 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 no! Oh wait, that's that other thing, the personnel carrier. Oh, that's how they drop more vehicles. That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back away from that. That's just a personnel carrier with no firepower of its own. Now that I've wiped out the turret on top, so. And what really sold Halo for so long was that feeling of being outnumbered and outgunned, outmanned, and outplanned, or whatever, and overcoming all the odds of giving the Covenant back their bomb just because yeah, it was probably very unlikely, but we had no choice. When your back's against the wall, you have to try everything. Or even when you're just a new player in a small space, like Valve is. I mean, again, the people do connect up home theater PCs, but I do hope that this will be a moment for new competition in the console space, because again, it might feeling actually threatened instead of just everybody going off to their blue oceans and hiking prices for eternity means that while everybody's stuck with their digital libraries, having a fourth healthy player in the console space for the first time since the late 6th generation, when the Dreamcast technically overlapped by like a few months with the Xbox original. You know, it's really something to have that, because I think the big three have gotten comfortable being a cartel for so long that they just got lazy a lot of the time. And Sony basically coasted to victory on another Microsoft-owned goal when Xbox seemed to have the pieces, more power, cheaper price, and a pretty decent exclusive lineup for like a year. Microsoft Flight Simulator, Halo Infinite, Psychonauts, and I forget the last one, but you know, and then they had a really decent first party this year. Though I really still need to try more of Keeper at some point, and not sure I have much time for a slow-paced walking simulator, but this game seems to be getting really good reviews for what it is, and I'm glad they have that, at least. You know, these kinds of smaller experiences.
Yeah.
Maybe they finally cut their stupid fucking budgets, these big publishers that think they're too big to fail and that they just need to wow everybody with 2% more prettier graphics and half-step consoles for $700 fucking dollars. I mean, again, at least $750. At least the PS5 Pro is going back down by 100. Okay. We are...
Alright, pretty good timing there.
Yeah, perfect.
I knew we were almost at the end of the highway section, so I really wanted to just...
I think this is the part where we get the Scorpion. But yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Let's just pause and chat for a few more minutes and wrap our thoughts before letting you go.
Rockets didn't do a thing.
Oh my god, I remember this part. Holy shit.
Might as well.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
We didn't talk much about Halo, but just like the cool designs of everything. Again, the art style really carries the graphics here in the original. The fact that they were able to pull this all together when they had made the demo in like a few weeks. It was a small vertical slice of gameplay that never made it into the actual game and was lost media for so long until they brought it back. Maybe we play that sometime. I would love to. I don't think I ever got to on MCC.
They're tough, but they
just like in the simulations.
Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do.
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah.
He never gets me anything.
Yeah, I mean, again, more competition and more players in the hardware space is not a bad thing at all. I am... Okay, yeah, I guess we pause. And it seems like it's an actual pause. Oh, you just quit. That's fine, too. So... Let's see, what else didn't I get to? Oh, Minecraft Blast. I mean, it's cool that they're doing cross-collaborations with King, but... This looks kinda... blah? I don't know. I mean, it's match puzzle gameplay. That's what King is known for. It's not rocket science here. Let's see. What haven't I brought up? Yeah, again, PlayStation 5 won the console war this generation by default, and maybe they wise up and are cutting down on anti-consumer practices now that they have been put on fucking notice by Valve, because they have the most to lose. They lose PC sales by holding that back from a competitor, and if it undercuts the PS5 at all, though I should say, I forgot to mention that the power profile of this is somewhere between the Xbox Series S and PS5, according to the good folks at Digital Foundry. At least that's their estimate. Like, I'm thinking it goes Nintendo Switch 2, Series S, Steam Machine, PS5, PS5 Pro, Series X. Well, actually, no, the PS5 Pro is a little bit more powerful than the Series X, but, like, nobody fucking uses that. There are 60 ray-traced games in the entire PS5 library, apparently, which is like, wow, that went to waste. But it was, like, quarter-strength ray tracing. Like, barely there to say they had it as a new feature on the box, and one that will make people less enthused for, you know, the next time they promise better graphics due to Moore's Law again. But, you know, the real competitive threat to everybody is Grand Theft Auto 6 getting delayed. That's the last thing I want to talk about before I let you go. Because, like, apparently, the game designer just will not accept a single glitch. And it costs $10 million a month to delay this game. Because it's just such an expensive game, and that's probably also expected sales. But I admire their gumption. I mean, you kind of only have one chance to get Grand Theft Auto 6 right, though. So, you know, delay as much as you want, but it probably will also just land like a huge stone in the middle of the pond of whatever plans people had for November 2026. People even delayed games this year because they thought Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to come out this year and just dominate the fall. Even Call of Duty, which we will be streaming that next week. I'm so excited for that. When might you be available?
Great question. Let me think. So definitely not this weekend. Maybe I would say the next day that might be possible would be Monday.
Okay, Monday works for me.
Maybe Sunday. I don't want to say
Sunday.
I think
No.
Monday's okay,
definitely a no for me because here's my production schedule.
Plan on Monday then.
I am gonna be editing this stream, chapters, shorts, and other streams are also getting shorts too tomorrow. I have to also finish the script on by Saturday and refine it on Sunday for The Hidden Faith, episode 4. Baha'is help no one in Israel or Gaza with exposing their negligence when it comes to this genocide. And you know, corrupt relationship with Israel. But then this Call of Duty thing, yeah, it'll need to be well clear. And I'm also gonna, part of the reason why I'm going to bed early and getting up out of work early is to tour the National Mall and find that stupid Confederate statue that was put up of Albert Pike, a literal fucking traitor who tried to sell Oklahoma out to some equally secessionist Native Americans. That's a complicated thing, but anyway. Like, I don't blame the Native Americans, but anyway. Then that whole tour, probably gonna upload it by Saturday too, so I am busy. And that's my side job, which is this. But yeah, so Monday works. I guess just let me know if it has to be later. And, otherwise, you have a good night.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Alright. And remember, if you like this content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for future updates from SunnyRedemption Sailing for no BS